Trevor Milton was indicted last week on fraud charges for billions of dollars. You see, the SEC they're throwing the book at this guy, but he claims he's innocent. Now let me ask you one question though. What's the difference between a visionary selling a daring dream of the future and a con artist? Is there even a difference? I don't know. And let me just say, the story is wild. Our story starts out right out of Gary Vaynerchuk's wet dream.
I literally want to die instead of fail. I do not know how to live in life.
See, Trevor drops out of college, and his one goal in life is to be listed among Forbes' 100 richest people in the world. And he will do or say anything to get to that goal, as we're gonna see. So he starts an alarm company, sells that, and does this with several other companies until by the time Trevor was 32, he was worth a couple of cool $1 million. It really not too shabby, but he didn't kick back. He saw the waves that Elon Musk was making with Tesla and the green movement, and he wanted in. So in 2014, he staked this flag into the ground and started Nikola Motors. And the business they were gonna do was hydrogen electric commercial trucks, something that had never been done before. But with a lot of money and some top tier engineers, like for example, Nikola's director of hydrogen production infrastructure was, Trevor Milton's brother, who also happened to work as a concrete paver before joining Nikola. I'm not really sure how paving concrete prepped Travis for the key role in solving one of the world's greatest scientific challenges, but together they're gonna change the world, as we'll see. Now, with hard work, countless nights, blood, sweat, and tears, and all that other stuff entrepreneurs say they go through, in 2016, the Nikola One was unveiled to the world.
For those who bravely stand at the crossroads of innovation and enterprise. For those who are prepared to give our children a moral compass and not just a roadmap. For those who wish to leave the planet better than it was when we found it. For those who are driven. For those who dare to reinvent. For those who dare to reimagine.
The first hydrogen electric commercial truck. And at its unveiling, oh boy, the hype train had arrived. D-list celebrities, media fanfare, the governor of Arizona was there. It was a real sight to see. And Trevor claims that this is the holy grail of hydrogen technology for cars. You see, the truck, it was zero emissions, could be refilled in 15 minutes, and haul more than 80,000 pounds. It hit all of the check boxes. And this was a fully functioning truck that definitely works, people.
This isn't just a pusher like a lot of vehicles that they unveil are just vehicles that don't actually function. There's a fully functioning
you can touch it, you can sit in it, but hey, don't touch the buttons because this is an actual truck, you see.
The cab itself, like I said, you'll be able to go inside. We have a little chain on the front to keep people from hitting the controls because they do work.
Now, Trevor was very peculiar about wanting everyone to know about what stage of development this truck was in. It worked. It was 100% real.
It's my pleasure to actually let you guys enjoy the night, see the truck, know it's real, touch it, feel how sturdy it is. You're gonna see that this is a real truck. This is not a pusher.
But I hear you screaming, what the hell is a pusher? You see, in the car world, a pusher is a development prototype car that can't move on its own, and thousands of these things get made every year and never go into production, and it's just really all vaporware. But Nikola, see, they had something different. They had
This is a fully functioning vehicle. It's not just a pusher.
Something that if you're at that stage, people want to invest in that. So billions of dollars came in for pre-orders, over $500 million in investment. And all of this was done because the truck worked, as they were told. And you see, this truck was really perfect for everyone. It was a win-win. It was almost too perfect. And you know what they say, if something's too good to be true, it probably is. Now, the publicity from this event was huge, but it started to kind of wane off, and within a year, the hype fades away. And people start asking questions, especially people that Trevor called the haters. People that said the truck was vaporware, the thing would never work. But on January 28th, 2018, Nikola shut them all up. And the media ate this video. The truck worked. It was going down the road. Nikola, they were in road testing. Anheuser-Busch, yeah, the company that owns Budweiser, saw this video, liked, commented, and subscribed on it, just like you should for this video, and ordered 800 Nikola trucks. Just to put this in perspective, when Tesla's commercial truck came out, Anheuser-Busch, the same company, only ordered 40. So there's a lot of trust in Nikola, and things were on the up and up for Trevor. And at this point, he wanted to take Nikola public, take it on the stock market. So what's the first thing you do if you're gonna take a company public? Create the hype. That's what you do. You create the hype. Even though they hadn't sold one single truck. They created Nikola Power Sports Division, where they had an electric hydrogen jet ski. I did not stutter on that one. Air-conditioned hydrogen off-road cars. Oh, how green is Nikola as a company? Oh, they are carbon neutral, baby. Yeah, Trevor took the factory all off of the grid and put solar panels on the roof.
We have 3.5 megawatts of solar up on the roof, producing about 18 megawatts of energy a day in our headquarters.
Green energy to make green hydrogen, to make green Oh, there isn't enough hydrogen stations in the United States? Nikola's gonna build 700 of those across the country, a massive project. Nikola's got you covered, like a Jimmy hat. What about battery technology? Nikola had the biggest advancement ever in the battery world. It would double everyone's battery life from your phone to your car, all while costing 40% less than any other battery on the market. Trevor stated, the technology could be worth billions if owned by one company, but we decided to share it with the competition for the greater good. How sweet, Trevor, how sweet of you to do that. But Nikola still hadn't sold one car. But by June 2020, that hype train had its final stop. Doot doot. Nikola went public on the stock market and became worth $20 billion. Trevor, that dude became a billionaire. And then he goes on to purchase the most expensive home in the state of Utah. Trevor's a concrete pouring brother who's the director of hydrogen infrastructure. Yeah, that dude became worth $115 million. What am I even doing? See, the market was going crazy for Nikola. See, people thought they were getting in on the ground floor of the next Tesla that would just blow up in share price, so people poured their money in. And speaking of Tesla, you know, they've always been ahead of the curve on EVs for about a decade, and you see all these old auto manufacturers want a little piece of that action. See, they want a little bit of that coolness that Elon Musk has. So on September 8th, General Motors, one of the largest automakers on Earth, announces a partnership with Nikola. GM would get a $2 billion stake within the company in exchange for GM's fuel cell and battery technology. And they would make a pickup truck together called the Badger. And the consequence for this Nikola stock deal, oh my god, it goes through the roof. The company is now worth $31 billion. That's more than the Ford Motor Company, a 100-year-old company. And Trevor, he became worth $9 billion. And what's crazy about all of this is they still hadn't made a single car yet.
While Tesla is higher today, Nikola shares are tumbling after a short seller called the company, quote, an intricate fraud built on dozens of lies.
Now, just 2 days after this massive GM deal, a bombshell report is released from the short-selling group, the Hindenburg Research, and it is a 60-page expose, and they allege that Nikola Motors is one of the most intricate frauds of the last decade, larger than Theranos. And just like any good tea video, Hindenburg, they had those receipts, text messages, photographs, secret company documents that all allege that this $31 billion company was hot air. And what was that evidence? Well, I'm gonna let you decide right now. Now, remember that whole multi-million-dollar story, Gary Vaynerchuk's wet dream? How could you forget about that? Yeah, all those businesses Trevor had, they were all failed companies. You see, Trevor had a track record of several companies of taking off-the-shelf products, claiming they were revolutionary technology, and then selling them back to investors in elaborate scams going back over a decade. Now, let's look back at that initial reveal. Remember how hundreds of millions of dollars were put into Nikola because of what Trevor said. The truck was fully functional, it could drive.
You're gonna see that this is a real truck. This is not a pusher.
See, through whistleblowers and text messages, it was revealed that the truck didn't work. Photos taken the day of the event document how incomplete the truck was. The thing didn't even have an engine, a battery, nothing. It couldn't even turn on the lights, so they had to power the truck through a plug hidden through the stage. Let's enhance the image a little bit. The truck was a pusher. Trevor had lied to me. But it doesn't end there. Now, remember this video that got Anheuser-Busch to order 800 trucks? It was a truck going down the road. The thing works. Well, there's a lesson to be learned on why you should never pre-order anything. See, Hindenburg had receipts showing that they had towed this truck to the top of a hill and rolled it down in neutral and took a video of it. What Nikola had was not a hydrogen-powered truck, but a gravity-fueled monster. Now, what about when Nikola announced its secret battery technology that would double everyone's phones and revolutionize the industry? Now, Nikola said this idea was worth billions publicly, even though they were acquiring the company for only $56 million. But you see, before this deal, they did some due diligence into the company. But upon arrival, they learned that this whole thing was pure vaporware, and that the president of the company had just been indicted for using his NASA expense account to hire escorts. So they never purchased the company. But you know what Trevor did? He continued to spout lies that they had this secret battery technology, all to boost stock prices. Okay, what about the hydrogen jet skis and UTVs? Yeah, those are scrapped right out. I mean, that's the dumbest idea. A hydrogen-powered jet ski. Why? But then there was like little stuff, like remember the solar panels they put on the factory to take Nikola off of the grid? There were no solar panels. It was never going to happen. It was just a lie to lie. Or what about when they lied about parts being made in-house with secret Nikola technology, when they were just purchased from off-the-shelf vendors and covered up with masking tape? Now, with all these allegations, stock price took a big beating.
As you take a look at Nikola, they've pretty much given almost everything back from when they made the announcement of the deal with General Motors.
But Trevor wasn't gonna give up. He was a strong boy. As he said, "I don't back down in the face of criticism." So in a lengthy defensive press release, Trevor, he had an answer for everything that was accused.
It goes to show you that when you're changing the world and you're doing good things and you're an entrepreneur, these people love to try to take you down. They love it.
This is what happens when you work to change things, and first they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
Remember that accusation of the truck rolling down the hill for a video? See, Nikola never said the truck was driving under its own power. You're just a dummy for not getting that one. Or what about when the truck was a pusher at the reveal? You see, Trevor said a pusher means that a vehicle was not designed to be moved by its own engine. The Nikola 1, in fact, was designed to be powered by its own engine. So the intent of not making it a pusher doesn't make it a pusher. Okay, Trevor. Now, you see, Trevor did have some convincing excuses over here, but the board, you see, they wanted him gone. This guy's bad news. So just 2 weeks after the report, Trevor leaves Nikola, and that's the end of the story. Wait. Just 1 week after Trevor leaves.
A report involving two women who are accusing former Nikola chair Trevor Milton of sexual abuse.
2 police reports were filed against Trevor for sexual assault against 2 minors, and one of these reports was Trevor abusing his own underage 15-year-old cousin. I'm just gonna leave that one there. Now you see, just like how the hydrogen-filled Hindenburg blew up in 1937, the Hindenburg report blew up a hydrogen car company. It really is ironic. So what was the fallout from all this? Now after a year of the report, the SEC finally stepped in and a grand jury indicted Trevor Milton for fraud at Nikola.
Milton claimed that the Nikola 1 could be driven, when in fact the closest it ever came to driving was when a group of Nikola engineers took it to the top of a hill and rolled it down so it could be filmed for a commercial.
If you thought the last 4 or 5 years was exciting, just wait until you see the next 4 or 5 years with Nikola. I think it's going to be one of the greatest stories ever told, and I'm excited to be part of it and excited to share it with you guys.
He posted bail for $150 million, and we're just gonna have to see where that goes, but it's not looking too good for Trevor. Now, you would think at this point that Nikola would just give up. I mean, your CEO's indicted for fraud, the company's falling apart, you still haven't made a car, but Nikola's still trucking along. They've hired a ton of staff, and they've actually built 14 production vehicles. Like, for example, the day Trevor was indicted, Nikola posted a video of a truck going uphill, with a press release talking about how these charges were not against Nikola, but against Trevor. Maybe things could turn around for Nikola. I guess time will really tell. But for Trevor, yeah, that guy's straight up F. He just sold $77 million worth of his stock to pay for all of this stuff. So we'll see where that goes. This is a ongoing case.